All right, my guest here tonight, out here in LA, Getty Center, the one and only Badbadnotgood. You know them, you love them. You guys, I've been waiting to say this a long time. Who are you?
We're just three goofy guys from Toronto, Canada.
All right, well,
making jazz music.
All right, who plays what?
Chester is on the bass guitar, Matthew's on the keyboards,
synthesizer,
and I play the drums.
Very, very cool. You guys formed in 2011, I believe. You got really big when you released, the OF sessions on YouTube. Why don't you talk a little bit about that? Like, I remember reading recently that you went to music school and you got bad responses there when you started doing that kind of stuff. So, like, what's your take on like music education versus like what you do now?
I mean, it definitely like has its place in like everyone's development as a musician. If you're getting like good stuff out of it, we just like weren't vibing with it at the time that we decided to leave, and felt that we could learn more by just growing together and playing a lot and exploring different avenues of music and stuff.
Yeah. When you're in school, you get frustrated with like exams and stress and having to do a lot of assignments and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like at a time we were like just really hating it.
Yeah.
And then we've had many amazing, grateful opportunities that not a lot of people get to have to play and travel and do music. So just kind of all the learning from school and everything. We're actually very appreciative of all the skills that we learned. But it's also about applying what you know in school and what you learn and figuring out your own avenues and exploring and finding good people to play with and not just setting yourself in the school zone, because that will only get you so far. You have to explore and figure out what else you can do, where you can branch out and play.
Yeah. One of your like first big supporters was Tyler, the Creator. I found out about him because because of him, but eventually you guys did a collaboration with him. What was that like meeting Tyler and doing those sessions with him?
Totally random, basically, because we did that video and just like kind of filming the school assignment that Alex had to do, which we kind of just arranged some rap music and stuff for. And then when he saw it, he sent us a tweet when he was in Toronto, totally randomly, and then we were like, oh my god, because we were freaking out, obviously. And then just had a jam in the basement of Alex's dad's house.
Your Last FM profile lists your three influences as Odd Future, Waka Flocka Flame, and Gucci Mane. How did like classically trained music education students get into like Waka and Gucci?
How does anyone get into that music? It's very expressive and awesome, and it makes you feel good when you listen to it.
A lot of people, they say like, oh, that's not real music, but like you guys are totally like,
So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, all music has value. It's like
exactly.
We just came into that because people showed us hip hop and we loved it, and we tried to stay up on like who was coming out at the time and who we'd like to listen to, and that's how we'd like.
Between the three of those guys, they have so much energy and so much like just I don't know, amazing characteristics of what they do.
Creative output,
just the amount of mixtapes they have.
Yeah.
It's all
Gucci
awesome.
Mane is like one of the most prolific dudes in the...
Your first live shows, like your early live shows, like they were just insane. What was it like the first time like doing shows and stuff? Like I remember seeing footage of a show you did in London, maybe in like late 2011, early 2012, where you drop Lemonade at the end, and like all these kids just stormed the stage, they're jumping, and like from that moment I was like, I need to see these guys live. I already loved you, and then it's like I have to see you. What was it like when you first started like traveling and doing shows?
It was crazy. Definitely a bit like nerve-wracking at first because we'd played shows, like with other people and stuff. But from the moment our first show happened, we just like noticed this crazy wave of like response from the audience and people being really into it, and we were just so blown away every time. And like that show you're talking about in London was probably like not even like our 20th show. 10, 12, I don't know. And it was incredible.
And we didn't know that was going to happen. And then, it's kind of become almost a thing now. And when we play in London, but it's cool. It's just kind of, spontaneous energy, movement, excitement. It's just incredible. And to be able to even travel anywhere and have a few people listen to what you're doing is just kind of the most insane feeling.
So in 2012, BBNG2, you started putting out new material with old material. What was it like? That was, I guess, like you could say a bigger album than your previous efforts. What were like the challenges coming into that project?
There were no challenges. The challenge is that we didn't
weren't self-aware at all, so there was no challenge basically.
Yeah.
And we just went to a studio for 9 hours, and like the album before that, and we were like, let's play these songs. You know, we did a bit of pre-production. We kind of had a rough idea of what we were gonna play, but it wasn't really worked out. And then like all those songs, like the first take or second take, some of them we only had one take because it was such a short time constraint.
Yeah.
That like the last 3 or 4 songs on the album, like Flashing Lights was one take, and like all that sequence was one take. So that was cool, but also a learning experience. And then, you know, the new album was all like, you know, sometimes we like cut 50 takes and then be like, this is it, we got it, and then go back to the studio like 2 months later because we didn't get it. You know what I mean? So it's just a different living you learn.
Yeah. What was it like? What was like the first song you guys cut? What
Ever?
were, yeah, like the first original song you guys did.
We didn't really have any originals until like the second album.
Yeah,
I
that's not
guess.
talking
Yeah.
about this first.
I guess probably like UWM or one of those.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like DMZ,
Yeah,
maybe because
true.
we did that in my parents' place.
True.
Me and you, the rare
First
just drum
demo.
piano
Yeah.
version that never got released.
I was on holidays.
No bass.
Yeah,
version.
Chester was in Ottawa.
So also another big one of your supporters, the one and only Mr. Anthony Fantano. You guys have played 2 of his showcases now. What's it been like working with him?
He's a great dude.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm gonna just go ahead and say he's a busy music nerd. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He helped me with my homework one year.
Yeah, that's awesome. And,
I hit him up over
fantastic.
the internet asking for some songs for a soundtrack I had to make for a class.
Oh,
it.
amazing, amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
like he's kind of like a rad dude because he's just a good presence on the internet of being a personable, you know, like reviewer. And just
Yeah.
giving his honest opinion about what he thinks, and like you know, like loves to just hear what other people have on different albums and stuff. I mean, we're very fortunate to have had some good love from him. But yeah,
Crazy
you know,
knowledge of-
if we didn't, I think we'd still support, like, respect what he does, and just like, you know, it's nice to have someone who's just openly voicing like what they think about music and spreading it around and sharing like just the, you know, the love of everything, just all kinds of different styles and sounds. Yeah.
So your latest album, 3, is your first album on a label. All of your other stuff has been self-released on Bandcamp. What were the sort of pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages? Was there any like learning curve to you know, making this switch?
Definitely a learning curve, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like both have their advantages, as you say. I guess the biggest thing with being on a label is that you have this team of people behind you working to make it happen and make the music reach the most amount of people. Sometimes that means waiting a while when you kind of just want to put something out after you've just finished it, and like, you know, just being frustrated because you can't get the music out. But at the same time, when it does come out, it's so much more like far-reaching, and just, you know, the push is strong.
Yeah.
It allows you to kind of like, you know, get a couple more improving measures towards the whole game of like getting vinyl pressed and like, you know, maybe like getting some output that we didn't have to reach before and stuff like that. And I think the biggest learning process with the label is just kind of like, you know, we're very fortunate to have working with guys who are like really adamant about what we do and letting us do what we do, and just kind of like supporting the way we're trying to, you know, grow and expand, and not like push anything down us.
Yeah.
Like say, you got to do this, and try that, and that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
fortunate.
It's not at all like the Can't Leave the Night video, no one's storming your basement.
Yeah. We literally made that stupid concept and did it with our friends. So yeah.
You guys also, in a recent, I think it was in May, you guys were featured in Exclaim magazine, and you mentioned, yeah, shouts out to Exclaim. You said in the interview that you guys recorded the album analog. What was the decision to do that analog versus like newer technologies?
You know, we're fans of Foghat. We like their 4th album, Double LP, 1977. And yeah, we just wanted to capture that warm sound on 2 LPs. And the way we could do that was when you recorded the analog tape. And, you know, it just has a live feel. It sounds good, it sounds warm, and it's great.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's good.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, like, yeah, you know, Foghat's wonderful, and when you kind of do things without having the computer and having the, you know, option of doing a million takes, or kind of like, you know, picking and choosing, it kind of forces you to just kind of hone in on where you're trying to create what's going to vibe well, and makes you kind of listen back, and, you know, you have so many selections and options on what you can do and what you can change, so you have to kind of just go with one and find the way to make it all the way to the end and make it feel and sound the best possible.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, doing a slower process and taking it easy is really where it's all right. So,
All right, so you guys have done like a lot of collaborations. You guys did Bootsy Collins, Tyler. You recently did that track with Danny Brown, Ghostface. What are like some dream collaborations that you guys want to do?
MF Doom.
Yeah. MF Doom. Drake.
Yeah.
I was thinking like you guys are both from Toronto. When's the Drake collab coming?
Well, it kind of happened because Chester played bass on 0 to 100.
Really?
But
Yeah, me and our friend Frank Dukes made the sample that became the beat made by Boy Wonder for that.
That's crazy. Did you get to like meet Drake?
No.
Oh.
One day.
He's been to the Drake, but he hasn't met.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up with some fun questions.
Sick.
All right, Chester, tell me about Alex. Why does he wear the mask?
I mean, as a matter of fact, he hasn't actually worn the mask for a while. When he did, it was, just a way to bring another dimension to the show and see how well we could interact with each other.
It's called learning.
Yeah.
Learning process. Yeah.
All right, what's your guys' each favorite Little B mixtape? Or just
Red Flame.
Red Flame?
I gotta say Red Flame.
Yeah.
Red Flame, then White Flame.
Red Flame, then White Flame.
Oh, Blue Flame though.
Blue Flame has like, it's good, but I'd say White Flame.
Okay.
Blue Flame.
What was the craziest fan experience you've ever had? Like, craziest thing that's ever happened to you?
Nothing's really been crazy.
It's always
Someone
like
stole
so much
Matt's
love.
hat at
Oh
a
yeah,
show
someone
once.
stole my hat
while he was playing.
while I was playing, and then I asked for
It wasn't
back,
really crazy, but
and
it was just funny
and then
because
they
he
didn't
got
give it
upset
back to
about
me,
it.
and so that was it's insane, but.
You guys, you're in LA. I think I heard you say earlier that you're gonna hit up FYF tomorrow.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think so.
What are your plans for like the rest of the weekend besides FYF? You just gonna chill, have fun,
Yeah,
meet
just
up with the
try to
Brain
meet
Fader
up
dudes?
with some homies,
Get up with some people in the
Yeah,
stew.
it's an amazing place for creative energy, so we know a lot of great people. Hopefully try to link up with some.
Want to
catch
buy some vintage guitars as well.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Buy a lot of vintage instruments.
All right, gonna wrap
At
this
affordable
up.
prices, hopefully.
And one last question. You guys have been major and inspirational to me as musicians, as jazz musicians. Do you have any word out there for the young creative people just who want to further their art, how they can get noticed, and how they can really just expand their craft?
Yeah, just listen to all music and always have an open mind, because when you listen to inspiring things, you get inspired and you make, creative stuff by yourself. You won't be creative unless you're surrounded by creativity,
And just take time on what you're doing and put your heart and your soul into it as much as possible, and then everything else will fall into place.
Yeah, for sure.
All right,
Don't stop the hustle.
you hear it
Hustle
here.
continues. UCJ new album.
Bad, not good. 3 swaggiest boys from Toronto.
Swag.
We out.